Hey, Randy Sullivan here, Florida Baseball Armory. Most of you know our program is called SAVAGE Training. That's an acronym. It stands for Specific Adaptation Through Variability and Goal-Directed Experiences. Want to talk a little bit about specificity. From the time we play catch with our kids the first time to when we go to our first training session, our first lesson, we are always trying to elicit an adaptation. We need to make sure that the adaptation we get is specific to the performance outcome we need. For example, we want to get guys that are strong enough to throw baseballs hard. So we go to the gym, we push, we pull, we up, we down, and we get guys that are stronger. But what we need really is power. And power is what you find at the intersection of strength and speed. And power is plane specific. That means you can be super powerful pushing, pulling, upping and downing, and not powerful in the planes of motion you need to be to throw a baseball hard. Power is also leg specific. In the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research in 2017, they published an article and it showed that when you train on two legs but have to perform on one leg, the training doesn't necessarily transfer very well. And so pitchers and hitters are one-legged athletes. They're on one leg and then they have to be stable on the other leg as well. And so we need to make sure that we're operating in the planes of motion and the types of exercises that we need to do. So a really easy way to remember that is put it in the forward, and that stands for frontal plane, one leg, rotational, and diagonal. Those are the movements that pitchers and hitters need to move in. Frontal plane is side to side, one leg is self-explanatory, rotational and diagonal. And here we have our strength and conditioning coordinator, Alan, demonstrating some of these exercises. This first one is just a frontal plane exercise, moving in the frontal plane in a lateral lunge. We're also working on a hip hinge while he does it with an unstable load on his back. Then we have RDL snatch to box, and again, this is getting us into a one-legged maneuver, also emphasizing a hinge and a hip block right there. And then we go to a more rotational exercise in a pitcher stride stance, leaning forward and working on rotation here. And then we have diagonal chops, again, using the aqua ball diagonal chops in a stride stance to make it more specific. So put it in the forward, use some unstable loads, you got a pretty specific exercise.